Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. All of us have different problems, situations, worries to face. All of us have some goals to be achieved. Life is not only facing problems, but also to live to succeed. So in this matrix of many parameters, many characters, how do we deal with? That will determine whether we are making the best of our life, which is very short. See? So, in a class, the teacher said, we have different types of things to be packed in the jar. The jar had a particular shape and capacity. Well, this is the jar. Now there were some big stones to be put inside, some gravels to be put, some sand to be put, some ice to be put, some waters, etc. How do we start so that we are able to fit in everything? We have to manage everything in our life. So, if we think goodly, we will know, first of all, we have to put the big boulders. Then, thereafter we put the small gravels. Then we put the sand. And then we put the ice. And then we put the waters. All of them will get accommodated in that space. If we go the other way around, first we fill in the jar with water. Nothing can go in. In the same manner, all of us have got different priorities. See? Now, how do we deal with those priorities? Which is priority number 1? Which is priority number 2? Which is priority number 3? If we can determine our priorities perfectly in our life, then we are able to take care of everything in our life. If we are not able to take care of the priorities in a proper manner, then life becomes a mess, and towards the end it is nothing but regrets and frustrations. See? And priorities are always time bound. What is the priority at a given time may not be a priority at the other time. See? So keeping this example in mind, life is very short. We have to fix priorities in life. See? Normally, what are the priorities that we fix in our life? First is security, earth. And security also goes on changing its definition. See? First of all, a person gets a job. His security is, I should get a good apartment, at least 1 bedroom kitchen, so me and my wife we can stay together. Priority number 1, security. Then after some time some money comes. I think this is the small house, we should have a bigger house. The definition of the security has changed. Then after some more time passes, I think I should have 1 house here, 1 house in Sydney, 1 in Melbourne, 1 in Bali, so that whenever I want to go, I can have it there. These are all nothing but securities. See? And our whole life is spent only in attaining one priority, that is security. See, friends. Now the second priority is, when we have got everything, now let us enjoy life. So what is enjoyment? Enjoyment is indulgence. We should have more things to enjoy. More the things we have, happier we are. More enjoyment we can do, prosperous we are. So we go on getting into indulgence. Thus, artha and the kama, security and the desire fulfillment, these two become the only priorities of our life. So if we are asked what we have done till date in our life, is only one thing, trying to fulfill our desires without attaining fulfillment in life. And in this rat race of fulfilling the desires and getting the securities, we many a times get into wrong channels of lifestyle. Whether this is right or wrong, it doesn't matter. I want means I want. See? So the impact of the desires and the securities, they overpower us so much that we lose the sense of living life in a decent human being style. Then, yena kena prakarena, by whatever means, I want means I want. There is no option left. I have to have it. And when this is continued for some time, then one day when we sit back and watch within, oh God, for getting this thing I had destroyed that fellow. For getting this thing I have mismanaged his money. And all those bad acts of ours in the fulfillment of our desires, they start surfacing. And as the age becomes more, now a third element called as the element of fear enters our bosom. I should not have done this thing. I should not have kicked my parents out of the house. See? Now what can I do? But that time it was impossible. Now those acts of wrong commissions and right omissions, they start persecuting. And then we start going to the temples, giving charity. And we imagine bad acts can be corrected by good acts. It cannot. Then we go to the Lord. Oh Lord, please take care of me. See? And when we go to the Lord, by His grace, be very attentive, joy and sorrows come in our life as a result of our karma. Joys are the result of good karma, meritorious past deeds, and miseries are the result of the bad karma, the sinful acts. But we come in satsanga, we want to know the truth. This is not the result of any karma. Ishvaranugrahat eva pumsam advaita vasana. If we happen to be in satsanga in our life, understand the divine grace has started showering on us. It is not the karma phala. It is not the result of karma, but it is the divine grace. And when we come on this path of spiritual unfoldment, then we reassess our priorities in life. See? So the first priority for a seeker now is no more worldly things, no more sin and merit, no more going to hell and heaven. That cannot disturb such a sincere seeker. And then he gets involved in the pursuit of the absolute reality, Advaita Vasana. See? So when this becomes the priority of our life, to know oneself. Now come back to the same example which I gave. Then this is the jar of our life. Now we have got many things to be accommodated in the same jar. Security, wealth, wife, children, husband, job, social obligations, health, disease, insurance, so many things. Plus, know the truth. So when we take big boulders and put first, because now there is a space. The space is not occupied by small little things. See the difference? But when we occupy the total space of our little life only for the non-essentials, then God realization, knowing oneself, allowing the Lord to express through us, they become secondary. And by the time the jar of life is filled, the main boulders, the main priorities of our life, they are left behind. And that time, neither you can empty the jar because you have collected it whole life. Then what is to be done? Then we want a digital method. Can we zip and attach? It can never happen. See, friends. And therefore, here the student says, Tat prayaso na kartavyaha yata ayurvaya param nate vindate kshemam mukunda charanam bhujam. Therefore, my dear friends, Prahlad ji is telling that don't waste your time only in acquisition of the things and indulgence and security that everyone has done in their life. And if we look in their life, what they have gained and what we have gained in our life. Contrary to that, if we look into the lives of the great masters, see, they had nothing, yet they have everything. See, in Ramakrishna Paramahansa's wife, Sharada Devi, she asked one day to her husband, she was looking little down. So he asked, what's wrong with you? You are not yourself. See, what a wife can think, if I can be a mother, I'll find fulfillment in life. Ramakrishna said, why do you want to limit yourself to be a mother to a child? Why don't you accept the whole world as your children? See? So, the small little thing to have children. The big boulder, living as a universal mother, that is the goal of life. That is the priority. And when she lived like that, her small little things were taken care of. See, friends. Therefore, he says here, let us not waste our time in these small pursuits. But our primary priority should be to know the truth. In Panchadashi, a thought comes. Yaya yaya bhavet pumsam pravrutti pratyagatmani. By whatever way, if we can become self-oriented and not self-centered. Self-orientation is spiritual life. Being self-centered is the material life. What do I get? What do I get? Why should I do it? See? So, Let us change our priority, and this priority is Kshemam Mukunda Charanambujam. The ultimate peace, the fulfillment in life can happen only if the Lord expresses through us. See, friends, this is the only priority. Rest of the things are like the small gravels and sand and ice cubes and the water. It will be accommodated in the glass of our life. It will be taken care of. See? Therefore, tato yatet kushalaha kshemaya bhayamashritaha sharire paurusham yavan na vipaddeta pushkalam. Therefore, when we are living in this bhayamashritaha, in this relative world of miserable existence, see, you know the most funny part, that we are not fulfilled in our life. This also is not recognized by us. See, fulfillment in life is different. Fulfilling the desires in our life is different. See, it is something like, once I was in a hospital somewhere in India on a hill station. I had something called as melena. I never knew what is that. So the doctor, I was there for almost 15-20 days and no operation, no nothing, only diet control. So they used to give me this barley water and some kind of little liquid food and all that. And my neighbor patient, he used to get good food. So I started thinking, because I am a Swami, I am poor, they are not giving me good food. To him they are giving good food. And he was fed up of eating that good food and I was fed up of eating my rubbish thing. So one day he was not taking food. I said, hey, why don't you take? He said, no, I don't want to take, I'm fed up. I said, don't waste food. Food is God. Anyway, I'll eat it. Actually, I wanted to eat. I ate that. And all my parameters were completely destroyed. It became serious. The doctor came and started scolding the nurse. Who has given this food to him? And everything. Then I said, Dr. Saab, please wait. Nobody has given, I myself ate it. Because I was fed up with the food you were giving me. Him you were giving good food. So I ate it. He said, you are Swami but you don't understand anything. Do you know you are having melena? I said, a lovely disease like a lavina. I got a melena. Then he said, don't make joke. It is a serious affair. Your stomach, your intestines are completely gone. Don't play with this thing. So when that word melena did not make any impact on me, I never knew what is happening. And I was thinking, I am comfortable. Exactly the same thing happens. With these little comforts of the world, we feel we have attained everything. But we don't recognize it is not fulfillment. And therefore, here the student says that tato yatet kushalaha kshemaya bhayamashritaha. Come to discover life must be fulfilled. Now I will give an example. Fulfillment of life means what? Imagine we go to the mother of Swami Vivekananda. Just imagine. And you talk to her. What will you talk? We will talk that, Mama, you are so lucky that you are blessed with such a lovely son who has inspired millions and all that. See. Two persons cannot talk together. So, what will be her experience when an unknown person comes and praises her son for no reason? What will be the joy for that lady? See, friends, then she finds, my life is fulfilled, that I was blessed with a son like this fulfillment. In the same manner, have we ever thought about that whether our life is fulfilled or we are only struggling to fulfill our desires? Therefore, kshemaya, let us think about fulfillment in life and not merely fulfilling the desires. Now take another example. What is the meaning of fulfillment? Small example. One day there was one boy, small boy, 7-8 years. He did something very good, chanted Gita 15 chapter perfectly well. So I was very happy. I gave him one chocolate. I had nice chocolate in my pocket, I gave it to him. He saw, I was so happy. And instead of eating, he put it in his pocket. I said, you eat? He said, no, I will not eat. I said, then give me back. He said, I will not give back. Then he said, I will give it to my sister. I said, what is this giving to sister? I give it to you, you eat. What will you get if you give it to your sister? Then he couldn't understand how to reply. He thought. He asked me, Swamiji, do you have a sister? I said, no. Then you will not understand. How beautiful reply. What he meant, the real joy he will get, not when he eats, but when he gives to his beloved sister, she will be happy. Fulfillment in life is never in getting the things. The fulfillment in life is when we can give the things. See, friends. And what is that which has to be given to everybody in this world? Only bliss, only happiness. See, and we can give happiness when? I can give you cashew nuts if I have in my pocket. If in my pocket there are peanuts, how can I give cashew nuts? In the same manner, unless I have discovered fulfillment in life, I cannot distribute bliss in this world. See, friends. Otherwise, living the same mundane routine life can never give us fulfillment in life. Therefore, tato yatet kushalaha kshemaya bhayamasritaha sharire paurusham yavat. And this we can do as long as we are healthy. See, you can imagine, suppose you have got a root canal. You have just come from the doctor and then you are sitting for meditation. What will your meditation like? What is this? This is sentidental meditation. Not transcendental, sentidental. Our attention will be only on the pain. A healthy person alone is capable of thinking about God. Unhealthy person thinks about the health. Think. Therefore, sharire paurusham yavat na vipaddeta pushkalam. Therefore, before the body has not started giving away. But normally what happens? Balastavat krida saktaha tarunastavat taruni raktaha vruddhastavat chinta saktaha parame brahmani kopina raktaha. When we are children, we are engaged in playing. When we are middle-aged, we run after the boys and girls. And when we are old, we are all the time worried. Never think about something higher. Therefore, yavan na vipaddeta pushkalam. Till such time we are healthy, we have to be very clear. Enough of this world. And enough of this world can happen only under one condition. If we pause, look around, then we come to learn that all the life that we have lived till date, what is the balance sheet we have? Nothing. Dates. Pay this mortgage, pay that mortgage. Nothing else. Whole life is only struggling. Never discovered peace because running after the pieces. See? So, sharire paurusham yavan na vipaddeta pushkalam. After having said this, now the great teacher Prahlada says, Pumso varshashatam yayuhu tadartham cha nitatmanaham nishphalam yadasau ratrayam shetendham prapitastamah. Pumsho shatavarsham hi ayuhu tad ardham cha anitatmanaha. He who has not lived a self-disciplined, self-controlled life, he has wasted 50% of his life. See, aniyatatmanaha, he who has no control over his mind. If we see or look within our own life, all what we have been doing because I like it. But is it right? That's a different issue. See? So what happens? As our age grows, we have trained our mind to do what we like. And then the likes and dislikes, they become so strong. As the age grows, likes and dislikes become very strong. See? There was one girl in India. So her father was asking me, Swamiji, what do you suggest? I said, you get her married as early as possible. 20, 21 is enough. And also the boy should be 22, 23, not more than that. He said, what is the reason we should get the daughter and the boy married so early? I said, look here. When the age of the girl is around 27, 28, and the age of the boy is around 30, 32, they have crystallized their personality in the form of strong likes and dislikes. Thereafter, they are not able to adjust with each other. What I like, that I will do. What you like, you do. So they stay in the same house, but looking in two different directions. And as the age grows, therefore, old people are very obstinate. They want their own way, as if others are furniture. See, friends. And this is how we become responsible for our own life, because we have not trained our mind to be disciplined. Friends, discipline cannot be brought out by love. Forget about that funny notion. By love we can achieve. Nothing can be achieved by love. It can be achieved only by discipline and a rod of fear. One person asked me in India, Swamiji, you go to so many places, you must have seen in Singapore, such a clean and beautiful country. Our Indians are there, plenty of them. How they don't throw the garbage here and there, they don't spit here and there. When there is a red light, they stop their car, they don't just take like that. And the same Indians, when they are in India, they don't behave like that. What is the reason? I said, the reason is, number one, Singapore is a fine country. For everything there is a fine. And the fine is not only in terms of money, but also you get the whips. Straight away, and they are very considerate. They don't want to spoil your clothes, so they ask you to remove the clothes. And nice whips. Suppose we are punished 10. And they will give 1, 2, 3. and we fall down unconscious. Then they'll take care, take to the hospital, give you proper medicine, and send you in a special car at home in the ambulance, and on your paper it is written 7 balance. Whole life, in the whole locality, nobody will do that mistake. This is what happens. See, friends, fear, if it is there, then only discipline can be inculcated. In the old English, proverbs, spare the rod and spoil the child. See? But in today's world, it is the other way around. See? Whatever the children like, they should do. Individuality is given undue importance than the totality. See? And therefore, our life is a total wastage if we have not learned this basic principle of life, that we must do what is right and not what we like. Basic principle. See? We never had any choice in our life about food. Food is to be prepared, common for everybody, eat. I don't like this thing. Who asked you? Eat. The net result is today we move around the world. Food is never a problem. If we are obsessed with a particular type of food, then life becomes miserable. And how that happens is only because of the likes and dislikes. And what is the logic and reason behind the likes and dislikes? No logic, no reason. See? Suppose I don't like, the eggplant. Why you don't like eggplant? No reason. I don't like. So it is without reason. And we think ourselves to be very reasonable, rational personality. And there is no logic, there is no reason. I went to somebody's house. A couple married maybe for 2-3 years, only 2 of them. And like here, it's so beautifully maintained. So I saw that house and then was reading the newspaper. So the girl says, Swamiji, I have seen what you have seen. I said, okay, get me a cup of tea. Then she said, do you know why we have not painted our house? Their house was not painted. As if, it was an archaeological survey. Very old one. No painting, no maintenance, no nothing. So, I said, I don't want to know. That is your house. Why should I add garbage to my head? He said, no, when we got married, we have decided we will not do anything unless both of us agree. Not only I will do. Then this is how we want to live together. Very good. Now the problem is, I like light cream color and she likes light green color. So which color to be given? Therefore, we have decided if we don't agree on this liking, we should not paint. I said, I can solve your problem easily. What is that? Paint your house black from inside. Ah? I said, no, wait a minute, I have not completed. Now I said, wife, you tell, do you like it? No, not at all. Husband, do you like it? No, not at all. I say, see, you agreed. Now paint. Likes and dislikes have no value, and yet our whole life is lived under the influence on this. Therefore, here he very clearly tells that Pumso Varshasatam Yahu Tadardham Cha Anitatmanaha. We are not absolutely under our control of, the mind is not under our control. We are just taken away by the mind. Then Nishphalam. So we have already wasted 50% of our life, living as a victim of one's own mind. Mind tells, do this thing, we do it. Mind, is it required? I know it is not required, but I want it. For what? See, there is no end to this. We have to put a line. Thus far, no further. See? This is the only reason why we accumulate so many things in life. So many things. See, I was in some other country, name and place I will not tell you. In case you meet them, it will be very bad. So, that lady, she is a psychiatrist. And her husband retired. She is still working. She taken another job. And I go and stay in their house. Old nunnery, church where nuns used to stay. Very old house. The ceiling is almost 12-13 feet tall. And those, old British type of construction. Everything. So when you enter, you feel, oh, you understand. Huge house. 2 kids out of the house. Only 2 of them. Yet there is no place to move. The reason, so many things. The other day, when I went with her for shopping, so she wanted to purchase what you call spinach, palak, spinach. Myself, her husband and she and one more person, 4 of us. Could you believe? She purchased spinach 5 kg. For what? And then, okay, I'll put it in the freezer. No place in the freezer. Okay, we'll try to finish it. In 2 days, it was all spoiled and thrown away. See? No, I feel we should buy it. What for? Mind is ruling us, and thereby we get ruined. Therefore, half of the life goes waste because we are the slaves of our mind. And half of the life, ratriyam shete andam prapitastamaha. And 50% of our life is wasted at night we sleep. See, the total account of our life. 50% life is wasted by remaining as a slave to the mind, and 50% of the life is wasted by sleeping at night. See. Then, how our life is wasted? Mugdhasya balye kaumare kridataha yati vinshatihi. When we are a small child up to the age of 6-7, it is mugdhasya, we don't understand anything. Just living. And thereafter, kaumare. Then we start entering the age, nearing the teenage. So from 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, up to the age of 19, we have only one thing, kridataha. Only play, play, play. Thus, out of the remaining 50 years, 50 years have gone in sleep. The 50 years are remaining for living. Out of that 50 years, 20 years have gone in this. See the account. And then, jaraya grasta dehasya yati akalpasya vinshati. And then from the age of 80 to 100, see, life is only calculating the diseases. Nothing else. So, 20 gone in the childhood and the teenage, 20 years gone in the worries and the frustrations of the old age, 40. So, 40 and 50 have gone in sleeping. So, how many years have gone? 90 years have gone. Now, 10 years are remaining. Dura purena kamena mohena cha baliyasa shesham gruheshu saktasya pramattasya apayatihi. Now remaining 10 years of his life is dura purena kamena mohena cha baliyasa. We want to fulfill our desires, and how are the desires? They are impossible to be fulfilled in life. See, one desire we fulfill, the second is born. Second we fulfill, the third is born. In Devi Puran, the story comes. that there was one demon, and when he is killed, from his blood another demon will be born. In the same manner, the demon of desire we kill, and from the blood of that desire another demon is born. And thus, the more we try to fulfill our desire, more we become victim of our own likes and dislikes. So, dura purena kamena and baliyasa mohena. And we are so much deluded that life is nothing but earning money, fulfilling desire, spending, and shesham gruheshu saktasya. And whatever is remaining, I am living only for my children, only for them, only everything is there. See, about the children I will tell you few basic principles. You may be knowing, may not be knowing. Number one, children do not need parents. It is the parents who need the children. When the young people get married, if they don't have a child, 1 year pass, 2 years pass, 3 years pass, then they go to the temple, to the doctor, and this thing, that thing, we want a child. So who is in need of the child? The parents and not the children. Number one. Number two, we then start imagining that these children, when they will grow, they will take care of us. And that will never happen. Because they have got their own life. See? And then remaining last 10 years of life, only frustration. See? So 100 years completed. Therefore, shesham gruheshu saktasya. All the time, so much lost in the attachment for the things and the relations. So, pramattasya, and such a person is only lost in his own creation. See? And the net result of this is there is no time for fixing the priorities of life. Priorities are not fixed. Let me finish this, let me finish this. I read one story, probably Prahlad or somewhere. There was a devotee and he was extremely devoted to the Lord. Lord came with his Vaikuntha helicopter. And when he came, he said, "My dear devotee, I am pleased with you. Come, get in. We'll go to Vaikuntha, the heavens." So the devotee said, "I won't come alone. I want to bring the whole world in the heavens." Lord smiled. "You may want, but who wants to come?" "No, anybody will want to come." He said, "Okay, for you a special concession. You bring anyone without seeing the credentials, immigration is given. Your words are enough for me." Okay. Then this devotee went first to the sannyasis like me, because they have given up everything. They want nothing in this world. Therefore they are sannyasi. So, Sannyasi Maharaj, we can go to heavens. Come, join with me. Sannyasi says, "Sorry, I cannot. Because I have got so many disciples to be taught, and I have got so many ashrams to be constructed, and I have got the marble to be fitted in the temple, and then there are some people coming, the minister is coming to inaugurate the temple, and therefore I have no time. How can I come? Leaving this work halfway, I will come later." Devotee is frustrated. He left everything for God, and when the opportunity to merge in the God has come, he has some other priorities. He thinks, "No, it is wrong. Let me go to the Vanaprasthi, the retired people." So he goes to the retired people. "Mr. Retired One, come, let's go to the heaven." "Oh no! Now my grandchildren are just going in KG1, KG2. Unless they have grandchildren, how can I live?" And you don't know the joy. When the grandchildren come and do all rubbish in your lap, and to clean that, it is Brahmanandam, Paramasukhadam. You don't know that. So the devotee was frustrated. Oh, they also don't want to go. Then he went to the grahasthas, the married people. Come, let's go to the heaven. Are you mad? I am married. I have to do lot of things in this world. Who will go to heaven? It can wait. It is meant for the old people, sannyasis. Got frustrated. Then he came to the brahmachari and the students. Students said, no, I have just completed my cat and there is a dog and there are so many animal examinations and I have to do the MBA and I can't come halfway. So the devotee was frustrated. Nobody wants God. Ultimately became frustrated and went to the animals. Worst, to the pig. And asked the pig, Mr. Swine, yes, there is an opportunity to go to heavens. Join me. Excuse me, I'll ask my missus, Swiney. So he goes. See, there is an offer to go to the heavens. Shall we go? Ask them whether do we get the same food what we get there? The same food what we eat here, do we get it there? No way. Then we don't want to come. And when finally the devotee came, the Lord was smiling. Who wants the absolute reality? You know, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to say that those who are engaged in scratching their eczema, they don't get pain, they get joy. Aha, Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim. Others get disgusted. Come on, man, it is bleeding. Oh. In the same manner, like the eczema of the skin, we have the eczema of the mind, eczema of the intellect, eczema of our sense organs, and therefore we try to imagine there is joy in the worldly objects indulgence, there is joy in accumulation, there is joy in relations. And therefore our priorities are not properly fixed. So, we have spent all the time only in this. And we have to take care of fulfilling our desire and living under the influence of the delusion and living like a bullock for everyone except for oneself. Kutumba poshaya vyannijayuhu na buddhyatertham vihitam pramattaha sarvatra tapatraya dukkhitatma nirvidyate na swakutumba ramaha. See? Kutumba Ramaha, the one who is so much involved in his family that beyond that family there is nothing in his life. See? They are unable to go beyond. Only me, my wife, my children. Break. I was telling this girl probably. We have to break our shell or else we will continue to be nuts. See? Nuts have got shells, isn't it? You break it and then you can see the joy. So, Kutumba Poshaya Vyannijayuhu. The whole life is spent only for taking care of the family, nothing beyond that. See, friends. You know, there is a story about the great saint who wrote the first epic in the whole world. The great saint's name is Valmiki Maharshi. He was just an ordinary person living in the forest, killing the people and looting their wealth. That was his profession. And one day when the great saint Narada was passing, he was caught. He said, give everything. He said, I have nothing. You can take this veena which I have, nothing else. No, you are telling lies. He said, before that, I'll ask you one question. You are doing so much of sins, killing people, looting them and all that. For what? Of course, to look after my family. Very good. You are a good person. Now you go and ask them, the sin that you have incurred, are they ready to be the shareholder of your sins? Of course they will be. He said, oh, don't imagine, go and come back, I am waiting. So he was tied down by a rope to the tree. This man goes and tells, I am doing so much for you. I have incurred so much of sin. Will you not be the shareholder of my sins? Everybody said, are we fools? It is your duty to look after us. We are not going to be the shareholder of your sins. So if you want to go to hell, you go. We are not going to come with you. Then his eyes opened. See, those who cannot do good to them, they can never do good to the world. Those who themselves cannot swim, they cannot protect or save a drowning person. Bhagavad Gita says, Uddhared atmanatmanam natmanam avasadayet atmaiva atmano bandhuhu atmaiva ripuratmana. See, we are in this world for our evolution. Everything else is there but secondary. First priority is to know the truth. The big boulder to be added in the limited space of the jar. First boulder. See. So, kutumba poshaya vyanniyayuhu na buddhate artha vihitam pravattaha. And he is not able to understand that all his efforts for something higher, they are nullified because he is too much preoccupied only in these worldly affairs. See, friends. So, we keep self-realization as the goal and living the worldly life as the means. Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, Samprapte sannihite kale nahi nahi rakshati dukrum karane. Dukrum karane is the language. When the ultimate time comes in our life, it doesn't matter in what language you talk. What matters is what you talk. So, language is the means, it is not the goal. In the same manner, our worldly life is the means. And realization of the self is the goal. Instead of that, we do the other way around. We make the God as the means and getting things in this world as the goal. Discrimination between the means and the goals is lacking. See, like the other day, I had some problem. Somebody came, Swamiji, do you take allopathy? I said, I take anything as long as I am healthy. No, there are some Swamis, they don't take allopathy, therefore we ask. I said, look here, I am not advocating any pathy. I am concerned about my health. If Ayurveda will help, I will like it. If allopathy will help, I will like it. If the homeopathy helps, I will like it. My goal is health, not the paths of medicine. Exactly the same way. What is the top priority of our life? To know the truth. And all other things, they are the means. So when all these means are directed towards one common goal, means will be used and dropped. But the goal is never dropped in life. See? Like, you all have come here. By your car, a means. You drop the car outside. Then your shoes, you drop the shoes outside. And then only we can enter. Exactly the same way. Our total life is just a means and the goal is to know the truth. Keeping this in view, then we lead our life as normal as we are now. But our attention is on something higher. Like, in Rajasthan, earlier days, those young girls used to go for fetching water from the river or the village well. They will be keeping 2-3 pots filled with water on their head. And young girls, giggling, laughing, making fun and coming, and yet it will not fall Because in all those activities, one thread was maintaining the balance. Exactly the same way, we have to have our association with the Divine. See? And with that association, then you play the game of life. This understanding is required. When this is not there, pramattaha, when he is not able to understanding, sarvatra tapattaya dukkhitatma, then all the time he is under the burden of these three types of miseries. We all have these three types of miseries. One is Adi Bhautik with reference to the body. Second is Adhyatmik with reference to the mind. The third is Adi Daivik, which is not under our control. These three types of miseries keep on persecuting us throughout life. And they are, what is the only thing that we want is thinking only about the health, health and health. Health cannot be the goal of life. See friends, health is a means. It cannot be the goal. All the terrorists are healthy. See, health cannot be the goal. Therefore, sarvatra tapatraya dukkhitatma nirvidyatena swakutumbaramaha. And yet he doesn't understand, he doesn't discover dispassion for this worldly life, and he is not yet ripe enough to seek something higher in his life. In this manner, vitteshu nityabhi nivishta cheta vidvamsa dosham paravitta hartuhu preteha cha atha api ajitendriyaha ataha dashanta kamo harate kutumbi. And such a person, he knows very well that when I am misappropriating someone else's wealth as a householder, he knows in this world and hereafter I will get the punishment for my wrong deeds, and yet he is so much involved in his world, in his life, that he forgets about it and preparing himself for the further tragic life. Therefore, here the teacher says that keep your goal properly fixed. The big rock is the goal. To know the self is the goal. Everything else can wait. One example I will give and then conclude. There was one girl, she was supposed to go with me to Uganda. So I told her, I said, get your passport done and then you come. So one person was sitting there. He said, Swamiji, I will get it done for her. I said, okay, you hang around him now, he will get it done. He made her go for 5-6 times, but did nothing. You come next Sunday, I am busy, and I will keep the form ready and you fill in it. She went next Sunday. Oh, I have forgotten. Come next Sunday. 3, 4, 5 Sundays, he only made her come go. He got frustrated. She came to me, Swamiji, that man is very bad. He said he will, but he is not doing it. First of all, stop crying. Now listen. What is the purpose of our being here? Don't forget that big boulder. Never lose the sight of the goal. We are here to be happy and nothing else. Okay? But how can I be happy when he is treating me like, be cool, I'll just tell you. Now that person said, I will do your job. What right we have on him? Is he our servant? No. Is he our brother, sister, mother, father? No. Is he our boss? No. What right we have? We have no right. Then the first principle to remain happy in this world is right of your rights. We have no right on anybody or anything in this world. You will remain cheerful and happy. See? When this Katrina came to New Orleans in USA, that time in Bombay also there was a big deluge. And Within 4 days, Bombay came to normal. USA Katrina continued more than 1 year, yet it is not normal. So one person asked me, how come India is underdeveloped country and yet Bombay could be normal within 4 days of such a big deluge, and our USA is not able to do now? What is the secret? I say secret is, you think your government will do. We don't think. We know government doesn't do anything, so we do ourselves. Self-reliance. Never depend on government. You will be always happy. Thus, come to discover this truth. That is the goal of our life. Everything else must wait. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.